I learned of this particular comment that he made from r/stock market, of all places. Weird way to learn your information about Trump, but then again, it is Reddit. So he said, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again." Certainly ominous things for anyone to say, especially the president of the USA. He goes on to say, "I don't want that to happen, but it probably will." Okay, it's getting worse. Moving on. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Right. So we all know that Trump likes to exaggerate. It's actually kind of the worst parts about him for me. I think he's really funny in a certain sort of way. Like, he definitely belongs in front of a camera. Maybe not necessarily behind a podium, but in front of a camera for sure. I can't really stand to listen to him constantly brag, though. Like, it's almost... It's just so much of it, you know? Like, it's like every single time he opens his mouth, he has to say how it's the biggest and bestest and largest and greatest and no one's ever seen it before or heard it before. It's unprecedented, yada, yada, yada. It's tedious in that way. And so he loves to exaggerate. He starts off by saying a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. But what does that mean? When you say a whole civilization will die tonight, is that like when immigrants and the people trying to open their borders of America to immigrants, when they say, like, well, actually, America's just an idea? Is that what he means when you say a civilization is going to die tonight? It's just like a metaphor or something, or just some sort of weird twist of the truth to, like, I mean, it's presumably an exaggeration, right? Like, a lot of people are thinking nukes, but he's explicitly said he's going to blow up the bridges and the power stations. He's also said that he's going to help, America is going to help rebuild Iran once whatever the hell he's trying to do is done, that they're going to try and rebuild Iran and help out Iran, but he doesn't want to rebuild the power stations because they're expensive, so he'd rather not blow them up. Yeah, no shit. But, and that's why I say, like, he's funny in that regard. He says stuff like that, and it's like... Yeah, okay. But then he says stuff like a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again, and that's a bit less funny. So you look at the other stuff he says. His common tactic of Trump is where he says he'll insult the hell out of you, and then he'll say, but you can be better than that. You can be better. We can be better together. We can work towards a brighter future, and everything's going to be great. That's what he always does. He insults someone, then he says we'll work together, and it'll be the best thing ever. And that's what he's done here, where they have total regime change, and now we have different, smarter, and less radicalized people ruling over Iran. So he's complimenting them there. That's what he's doing. He's complimenting them so that they'll feel like, yeah, you know what? I can work together with Trump. And from a strong-arm businessman perspective, maybe that works. When you're threatening to annihilate their entire civilization, I don't really know if it works. And less so when it comes to radicalized zealots. I mean, this is a hyper-religious country. It's not really secular or anything. I mean, they're not, like, the leadership of it, the people maybe, but the leadership of it are not going to just roll over, I don't think. Like, even when they're threatened with death, I really don't think they're going to just roll over and hand away the keys to the kingdom. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. But, you know, it goes on to say, like, the most important moment in a long history of the complex history of the world. This is Trump we're talking about. He has a big family album, and he'll look through that, and every single picture he looks at, he'll say, this is one of the most important moments in a long and complex history of the world. He'll probably tie his shoelaces and say it's one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. It's Trump. It's Trump. So I don't really expect this to be what everyone else is saying it is, or at least the Democrats are saying it is. I don't know what the right wing is saying about it yet. I haven't looked. But the Democrats are saying all the stuff they normally say, and now they're saying, my prediction that Trump would nuke Iran was correct. So the rules of the sub. So, hi, welcome to r/stock market. Please make sure your post is related to the stocks or the stock market, or else it will most likely get removed. And it says a second paragraph here of making sure that it's not political, or else it will be removed. I've not expanded any of these comments, so there's plenty that you can't see. But just going from the top of it, all of this is exclusively political. All of that until you get to this comment right after the aftermarket close. That is the first comment that's not political and actually has to do with the sub. All of this is Trump derangement syndrome. People totally ignoring the sub. And undoubtedly, these hundreds of replies in here as well, just people completely ignoring the concept of the sub because they all have, of course, TDS and they can't help themselves but to act wrongly where they're not supposed to. This is r/stock market. It's not r/picks. It's not r/advice animals or r/clever comebacks. This is for stock market stuff. I know that seemed a bit ridiculous, but those other subreddits have been completely converted into left-wing megaphones. So here's some of what Trump's actually said on it.
Every bridge in Iran will be decimated. Every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Iran's neighbors are calling for de-escalation.
There are no winners in the continuation of this war. There are only losers.
Iran, for its part, remains defiant. The country's president wrote on social
Is that AI?
media overnight that he, along with millions of other Iranians, are ready to sacrifice their lives in
Is that AI?
defense of their country. Natalie Brand, CBS.
Okay, that's definitely AI, right? I mean, look at that. Look at this. Look at all these missiles. There's like 1,000 missiles with green fire coming out of them in front of this crowd of people. I mean, come on, that's definitely AI, right? We okay with that? And what's the deal with this woman here? Is that her hair? It looks like her hair. Is that allowed? I mean, none of these women are showing their hair. Maybe that's allowed where she is. I don't know. But I do think it's funny how many left-wingers are picking up Islam at like hyper warp speed. They're converting. They don't realize that this is the end goal of Islam. Like that's what they're going to look like. The slutty men get to show off their necks, and then the women get to show off their chins, I guess, and their foreheads. Like that's the end goal. And also, like I know it's the Iranian government making propaganda for their people, and whether or not it's propaganda, I guess depends on your point of view on America at this point. I mean, they are Iranian after all, but this is just weird, right? Like having some gigantic AI poster wrapping around a building with like 1 million missiles launching. I mean, the Iranian people don't actually see themselves as that capable as far as their military goes, right? Like, especially at this point, it reminds me of that weird AI video they showed before all of this began of them destroying our carriers and such. It was super weird. But as you heard Trump say, destroy the bridges, destroy the power stations. That's what's probably going to happen. I mean, I don't know what the fallout of that will be or what actual meaning will come from it as far as moving all of this along or setting it back for that matter. But I don't see it being a nuke, as people keep saying, despite Trump's egregious claim of wiping out an entire civilization. I mean, honestly, even if you did drop a nuke, it wouldn't actually destroy a civilization. I mean, Iran's a big place, a lot of mountains are going to stop a lot of that from happening, the damage of it anyway. You got a lot of nukes, I suppose, but it kind of depends on what they're willing to do. I don't think you can just carpet bomb the place with 1 million nukes. So, a little bit more of Trump.
What would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told if you protest, you will be shot immediately.
And that's an important thing, that it's never really like made sense from anyone's narrative that the Iranian people were going to like rise up and take over the country, but it was more a hope, I think, that complete military dominance would have the military stand, like the government of it stand down. But we're talking about religious zealots, like I mentioned earlier. Like I just don't see that happening. And a lot of people say you just press the internet button and then the people can rise up and band together. I mean, you saw in the other video with that weird AI billboard that they're driving around in cars and just walking around in broad daylight. Like it's not like they're in the dark ages or something. At least not yet. Maybe in a few more hours, once their power stations are destroyed, that might do it. But right now, the internet is not really going to they're not going to band together and take over the country. They're not going to wipe out the military. Not without a lot of boots on the ground from foreign invaders helping them out, which would be us, I guess. So, the ultimate question is whether or not that's what they actually want. I've heard a lot of people from other countries, not just the USA, but Iranians from other countries. I mean, like Iranian Canadian from that that weird like woke in NPD in NDP whatever it was, the CPAC thing. He was sitting there talking about how evil the regime was. He didn't like the war, but he thought the regime was evil, and it was bad as well. So Iranians seem to hate this regime, truthfully. Lots of Iranians from different countries are saying it. But, how do you do that realistically? It's why Israel bombed Gaza to dust. Like, you can't go door to door with your troops saying, all right, we're gonna use our magical scrying ball to find out whether or not you've got Hamas or Hezbollah or any, like, loyalist IRGC or whatever hiding in your house. Like, there's no way you can realistically do that. So I don't really know how you could change anything. I mean, it would require like true sacrifice by the people of Iran, which is what they're talking about here.
So what happened to the young wrestler? He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler, one of the top in the world. And he and his two friends were hung. And all they did was say a little bit about liberty. They wanted liberty, and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed. So when somebody stays in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that, that was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. We got regime change. We do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper. And far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change.
And see, that's where it gets a little bit confusing. We didn't do it for regime change. Like, okay, that was never the main goal. It was the nukes, right? That's what he's going to say again. Just said it. He's going to say it again. It was the nukes. But how do you get rid of nukes without regime change? To me, they seem like they kind of go hand in hand. Like, there's no sort of like magical spell you can place upon the country that disallows them from ever having nukes. So you kind of need the people to be on your side, right? And so helping them and instituting regime change kind of felt like it went hand in hand with getting rid of nukes to me. And that's why it all made sense on a surface level. Of course, I thought that there was a lot of like soft power and medium power being exerted behind the scenes on other countries, disrupting oil, showing what America's capable of. Like China's failed to protect, and Russia as well. They failed to protect Maduro. They failed to protect Cuba. They failed to protect Iran. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but I did always feel like regime change was the ultimate goal, because how else do you prevent nukes? And preventing nukes, even if you want to say that it's impossible for them to get a nuke and they'll never get a nuke, and then there's a lot of people say that actually say that actually Iran's the best people in the world and they were never going to nuke us and they want to be our best friends, but then Trump ruined it. A lot of people saying weird stuff like that. But the reality is that the only way you could really do it is with regime change. So that was your narrative, that you were going to stop them from getting nukes, and therefore the only way you could really do that is to actually complete the regime change. Which I guess technically you do that by wiping out their leaders and forcing a regime change in that way. But, then it's on the new leaders. Like, will they even institute a new regime? Or will it just be the exact same thing?
Did it for the fact, and my view was very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. They want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to... And if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is. But it's very unfair to say, because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news. But you can't... It's so bad for people that are so... You just saw two great, and John Ratcliffe, three unbelievable people. They have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media.
Right. I mean, let's see. Like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, it's a little bit difficult to listen to him because sometimes he just rambles for a bit too long. Like, we have a plan, we can't reveal it to the media. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sure. Now, I don't think that's a whole lot of the issue. People are just wondering, like, what the goal is because of the previous statements about annihilating all the nukes. I don't know why people think it takes infinity years to rebuild a nuclear program or something. It doesn't take like forever to do that, especially when you have help from other nations like China or something. But I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to say specifically. Like, it feels like he's talking about a very specific operation, like a very specific thing that he knows that other people don't know, which I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what he actually means or if I'm just presuming.
So, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering. They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people.
Right. So, like I said, there is going to need to be some suffering by the Iranian people for real regime change. I don't know that I believe him there when he says that they're picking up communication interceptions by the Iranian people, begging the USA to come back and bomb them more. I mean, he did say that the places that they're not hitting. I don't know if he meant like military installations or what exactly, but I'm not sure exactly that I believe that. But yeah, I don't think that Trump's rambling is particularly conducive to showing strength, which is something that he's obsessed with. Like, if you look down at the comments of this, there's numerous people who keep saying, it's like all in a row as well. He sounds like a 5th grader giving a report. He sounds like a 3rd grader giving a report to their parents. Jesus, he sounds like an 8-year-old telling about his day. I mean, these are all just right next to each other, these comments. So it's a bit like his rambling, I think, is really turning off a lot of people. I mean, the Democrats would hate him anyway, but I think like people in the center are kind of getting turned off by this. And then there's, of course, the mad tweets that he does about whole civilizations dying, never to be brought back again. Again, I think that's probably an exaggeration because that's his thing. Like he talks big, he threatens harder, it's like he just doubles down and triples down and quadruples down and hopes that they go along with it. The thing is, what happens when they don't? When they don't go along with it, well then, if you give someone like this power, then it all comes down to whether or not they as a person are willing to exert that power. He has the power, so will he do it? That's the ultimate question. And I don't know. I don't know if Trump is really being misled. I don't think he's being controlled. Like, a lot of people say that Trump is being controlled by Putin or by Bibi or by whoever, Musk, whoever. I don't think that Trump is the kind of person, given this level of power, who would allow himself to be controlled. Like, he's a megalomaniac and a narcissist. Why would anyone think that he would be controlled given this level of power? Maybe he's being misled by some of his close advisors. Maybe they have some sort of extremist ideologies or something, but I don't know. I just think he really wants them to capitulate and give up, and they're probably not going to because they're zealots, and the whole thing is going to get really messy because you're going to need boots on the ground to institute an actual change. And without that, you either back out, which I can't see Trump doing. I don't see him backing out because that's just him giving up. It's him surrendering, and I just can't see him doing that. So that's what I'm predicting. Boots on the ground, but bombing the power plants, bombing the bridges, boots on the ground. That's what I suspect. All the people saying nukes, I think, are obviously my thumbnail's a bit of a meme on that. Hopefully I didn't come across as too literal with the weird Trump face overlays onto it, but that's my take on it. But the real reason I made this video, I'm not trying to be a war YouTuber or anything. I don't have any kind of credentials in such a territory, nor do I have the desire really to be. There's plenty of people who do it better, but I just happen to notice some things on Reddit occasionally which tick me off. That's the entire reason I made this channel. I mean, look at here, the Reddit brand. Reddit aspires to be the heart of the internet. It gives people tools to build communities. Really, the heart of the internet. Well, here's Reddit for today. a front page post of it talking about how they want the president to die. 41,000 upvotes. And this is the heart of the internet, is it? This is the Progressive Party, the heart of the internet. Yeah, it's a bit cringe, actually, is what I think. I understand not liking Trump. There's other popular threads about impeaching him and stuff, and that's the more correct way to go about it, obviously. But this is what people see of the Democratic Party. It's not a good look, and people will remember that. Why wouldn't they? I mean, people remember everything these days. They just drag it up and note you on X over it. This is ugly. Anyway, like I said, I'm not expecting a nuke. Hopefully it's not a nuke. I mean, unlike all of the Democrats, I don't think that Donnie's lost his mind. I just think he really won't stand to lose. And as long as he's in power, we're looking at boots on the ground. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please do the YouTube things, and thank you for watching.